Guys, I'm pretty tired. In all honesty, I'm pretty tired. That was a late match. I slept there, one eye open, Eito rolling around, kicking the crap out of me. I thought I saved the game for Europe by going to the bathroom break, right? When I came back, opened up you next. Isak, fantastic touch, Gakpo equalizer. I thought must have been playing well. It's 1-1. Then I read about us getting wrecked. Caicedo scoring a scorcher. Had to be Caicedo, right? Oh my goodness. And Romeo Lavia's one game of the season always appears against Liverpool as well. But enough of that. This is a channel of substance and abundance. I'm going to tell you tactically what Arne Slot got completely wrong, right? He's open to criticism, fair game. Let's do it with constructive criticism, right? And the players, we're going to talk about Mo Salah as well, the left-back situation, Andy Robertson, Milos Kerkez. These are Chelsea folks, right? They've got a bit about them, a bit dirty. Caicedo, Fernandez, a bit between the teeth, the grit between the teeth. We lack that dirtiness, the dark arts, right? When Endo's not playing, he doesn't win the cheap fouls. We lack the yellow cards throughout the team, like justified yellow cards, not the dodgy yellow cards that referee gives for no reason at all when Gakpo got the ball cleanly, for example, and Slot went irate. Chelsea keep up the record of getting a red card every game, with Enzo Maresca getting sent off as well. But you know what I mean? Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez and all their players, dirty grip to him. When we had Lucas Leiva, when we had James Milner, when we have Jordan Henderson, give as good as you get. Hard man, hard nut, get your foot stuck in there. Fabinho, the cleaner. We got two nice boys, two pretty boys. I know Szoboszlai runs around. He's super, super pretty, but he's way too nice. Salah doesn't get stuck in. Now, that's a thing, right? Mo Salah is ineffectual. He's off form. He's a liability at the moment. He's got world-class talent, proven ability, but the tactics are letting him down. But he's also letting himself down because every time he gets the ball out wide now and cuts inside, you don't think anything's going to happen. You don't think the back of the net's going to ripple. He's got to be so close to goal to do anything. His shots are wild, and it's not just confidence, not form. The technique is all wrong. Everyone with a cultured left foot, right? Cultured left foot. If this was Arjen Robben, for example, even in his elder age, if it's Ryan Giggs in his elder age, the technique gets the shot on goal. He's trying too much on the instep to get too much curl, and it's wild. It's ballooned. It's not even on target. It's unforgivable that's not on target because the ball goes out of play and is returned back to Chelsea. And Arne Slot substitutions, right? Doesn't make sense. You're chasing a goal, right? We're 1-1. We've got the momentum coming back to 1-1. I love Wataru Endo. Big Emperor of Mankind, Wataru Endo. I love Endo. But Endo comes on to hold security, hold the game, see the game out. You want to win the game. Your most informed attackers, Federico Chiesa. Salah's balloon chances, wasted chances. Bring on Chiesa. I thought you should have started. It's not what has Arne Slot got against Chiesa. What does Chiesa know about Arne Slot and he's punishing for him? Perhaps what does Salah know about Arne Slot that Arne Slot doesn't want out because Salah never gets subbed? Is it in the contract? Does he have some kind of written clause that he must play like 90% of every match for 90 minutes and has to start like 90% of the time? I don't want to go too deep on Salah because, he is a legend, top 3 player for us for all time. But the ability, the technicality is gone. When you have a player, right, you can't just rely on him in moments. When you're going for quadruple, you can't rely on him to have a moment. You've got to have a consistent threat for 90 minutes every game turning up, right? A Kvaratskhelia kind of player, right? An Ousmane Dembele type of player nowadays, this current version, right? A player who's always going to turn up, show up, and really stump up things like Lucho Diaz at the moment is ripping it apart for Bayern Munich. Now, I understand people saying, why didn't we keep Lucho? Why didn't we get rid of Gakpo? Lucho always started ahead of Gakpo. Lucho's a great player, hard-working, tracks back. But at 28 years old, it's the final chance to sell him because he wanted wages on parity with like the top earners, which is like Virgil van Dijk, right? People are saying Mo Salah misses Trent. And you'll notice, right, when Salah played with Trent, Salah actually tracked back to cover for Trent to try to prevent some defensive liability, but the through balls and balls over top got Salah into position. But it's not just about getting Salah into position, because Salah did get into position today. He just fluffed them. So it's nothing to do with Trent. We should be stronger defensively without Trent, but Szoboszlai is having to cover for Salah or whoever's on the right-hand side, Gravenberch as well, because Slot has given Salah, for whatever reason, free reign. And Marc Cucurella even said their strategy, they know that Salah's always waiting to pounce on the counter-attack, on the transition. We tried to get long ball over the top to get Salah in for whatever reason, even though he lacks pace and his first touch is slightly dodgy. They exploited that space, but it's nothing new because teams have always exploited our right-hand side with Trent and Salah, but Salah actually worked back to the cover for Trent. So Connor Bradley, isolated. I don't think the chemistry of Salah is particularly good. Frimpong's massively off form as well. You'd think that Arne Slot has a massive issue with certain players. Wataru Endo hardly gets any minutes when our record with Endo is superb. Kwanzaa made one mistake in the opening match and he was shift off. Harvey Elliott comes on, makes the difference, makes an impact. Jurgen Klopp wishes he would have played him more. He should have played him more, but then again, Klopp didn't play him. And Arne Slot doesn't play him either, and he's loaned off to Aston Villa. Endo, Chiesa, Kwanzaa, Elliott, none of them, I don't think, get a fair shake at having opportunities when the players in front of you are massively off form. And you should play the games to win the games, not playing for a draw by bringing Endo on 1-1, not playing favourites like Mo Salah and substituting other players, or in Chiesa's case, never substituting Hon. Chiesa, Van Dijk, McAllister, and Arne Slot were the only ones who went to clap the away end, the loyal Liverpool fans who had train trouble going to London, and everyone else went down the tunnel. McAllister is a leader, but he's massively off form, off key, injured, tired, or whatever. Szoboszlai passes the buck to Salah way too many times. But even then, this is surprising, right? Gakpo, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, McAllister are all more offensively dominant and a scary prospect for the opposition than Mo Salah. Mo Salah just looks so weak at the moment. I hate to say it, but when he had his playmaking and racking up the assists, right, you could justify that position, justify him on attacking third and lack of defensive duties. But we need real balance. Look at what PSG are doing, right? With Desiree Doué, who doesn't want to defend, but he's always defending. Kvaratskhelia, Barcola, and Dembele. They're all right in their minds, offensive-minded players, but they all put in a massive shift defensively as well. And we can't afford to carry Salah this season. He's either carrying us or he shouldn't play. If you have to carry him, the system's not right, the balance isn't right. Now, we reverted to form, revert back to the old system with McAllister, Szoboszlai, and Gravenberch in that midfield. But we got dominated in the midfield because we're way too nice. Now, we did have chances on occasions. With their quality, they have broken through on occasions. But the reason why I think this loss is on Arne Slot, in particularly, is the only match in the whole of his tenure at Liverpool, right? I think this is on Arne Slot, is that Chelsea are so solid and dominant in the middle to close the space, right? With Caicedo, with Enzo Fernandez, Garnacho tucking in as well, Pedro Neto willing to do offensive duty, Badiashile and a Chimpong, right? Needing defensive shield in front of them, so they always have Enzo Fernandez and Reece James and Caicedo in front of them. The midfield is congested. You're not getting through there. Tough. They want you to go through the middle. They were there for the taking on the whips, right? The best way to force Pedro Neto and Garnacho back, right, and eventually Gittins back and Estevao Willian is to attack on the flanks, force them to go back and defend their fullback, help their fullback, bring Caicedo back into the wide spaces, bring Reece James back into the wide spaces. Of course, he's comfortable there, right? So you have Gakpo and Kirkes 1-2-1-2 teaming up and dominating the right back, Malo Gusto, who's a decent player, but he won't be able to deal with them on constant rampage. But we didn't do that. You can have your Conor Bradley and Mo Salah ganging up on the left-hand side against Cucurella, and he can be done on occasions. He's a solid all-round footballer like Kirkes, but he can be done. We didn't do that. We always tries to force through the middle. Now, I said that Gravenberch is a great utility option at centre-back, at half-back, because of the fact that he can drive through the midfield when there's space from a deep position, which is what Trent Alexander benefited and Conor Bradley and Frimpong benefit from. When there's space in front of you and driving through the middle, Gravenberch did that and opened up on occasion, right? But when Endo comes on, wouldn't it make more sense to give Gravenberch more free reign and have Endo drop back into half space? But we didn't. For all my love for Wataru Endo, it's the wrong call to have him floating around in the middle when the press is completely uncoordinated, which means all he can do is block the passing lanes, of which he did pretty well and contested in the air pretty well. But Gravenberch is more of a game-winning condition than Wataru Endo in that middle third. So the switch between them didn't even particularly make sense. And then, as I mentioned, Frimpong's, for whatever reason, in the bad books, he's had 2 bad games. He's coming back from injury. This is the thing, right? Frimpong's coming back from injury. Okay, granted, we know that. Isak's lacking match fitness, adjusting the team. We know that. Hugo Ekitike's rhythm got, through that red card or through the suspension, his goal-scoring run wasn't there. But he is our goal scorer this season. Hugo Ekitike scores all the goals, and his connection with Wirtz seems to be the only one who connects with Wirtz consistently. So that should have been the focus. Build a team around Ekitike and Wirtz's connections. Wirtz came on and changed attacking impetus. I don't know what Gary Neville and Carragher, they're having an absolute doozy. Blows your mind, that tactical acumen between them two. It's less than half a peanut. Yes, so Florian Wirtz was the only one trying to make things happen, but there's no support in and around him in a close proximity. Gakpo, for all his wastage and getting tackled, at least tried to penetrate, tried to take the man on, tried to come inside, took the shots, tried to play the through balls, tried to be positive, got the goal. He's a penalty box poacher with instincts, and Isak's amazing, miraculous ball, he's off the mark with an assist, got it through to Gakpo, who gambled into the penalty box area. You never see Mo Salah gamble into penalty boxes. What is Salah actually doing on the pitch? Apart from waiting to cut inside, which is his only move, and ballooning it. Right? He just doesn't have a role in a balanced setup. He's either meant to be carrying Liverpool or he shouldn't be on the pitch. It's just as simple as that. Even Soboslai or Frimpong or Conor Bradley on that right-hand side probably has a better effect. Even shunting Isak or Ekitike or Wirtz on the right-hand side is probably more balanced for the team, even though they're not right wingers at the moment. And to not put Chiesa on at all was criminal, for the fact that this kind of game just needs a player to gamble, to get a shot on the way, to wiggle, and to get space for a shot, right? So this is on Slot. Substitutions absolutely battered us. Forcefully playing through the middle into Chelsea's strength, battered us. Not forcing their wingers back, batters. Robertson huffed, he puffed, he whipped the ball in. He was the only one whipping the ball in on the left-hand side, crossing as well. But it's Robertson's fault, either through injury or through being knackered. If you look at this image right here, he didn't mark Estevao Willians on the back post, slid in behind. It's a goal. Mamadashvili did heroic saves, right? Thrust into the limelight, a big, dominant Chelsea. He made save after save. We constantly let their wingers approach our penalty box area, backing off, let them go down the wings, backing off. They're dangerous. They practice this in day out in training. They're all about wingers. They've overloaded on wingers, Chelsea. Absolute overloaded on wingers. I know João Pedro was kept quiet. Van Dijk should have, been a bit more responsible for the Caicedo goal as well as Gravenberch. But literally, we gave Chelsea the ball and attacked us down the flank and backed off. No other team allows wingers, a winger-dominant team, to attack your box with wingers on so many occasions. Of course, they were going to get through, right, eventually. The writing was on the wall. It's not that the squad is imbalanced, because the squad has 2 quality players for every position with lots of attributes, lots of personal attributes and personas that kind of suit the philosophy that Arne Slot wants to play. Lateral ball holding against pressure, off the ball runs, etc. But the tactics, the substitutions, and the instructions are muddled. And it can't just be resolved by training. It has to be a philosophical change, because Arne Slot mentioned in the post-match press conference that it's a game of fine margins. And yes, it was. They won 1-0 in the 95th minute. But why are we playing for a draw? It shouldn't have been that way. And the tactics were wrong. We should have attacked them down the flanks and really put pressure against them and force their wing-backs back, right? It's confusing times at the moment. Now, he's a Premier League champion. He's tactically astute. We know that. He can change a game and the narrative in the course of a match. He talks especially well in the interviews and explaining the tactics. But when you have Marc Cucurella explaining the tactics that Salah stays up in transition and attacking the space behind him, now we know how it feels. We've gambled every match on our quality, our offensive prowess, winning us the 50-50 duels in the 80th to 90th minute, coming away with 1-0 victories at Bournemouth, versus Bournemouth, away at Newcastle, versus Arsenal, versus Burnley, versus Atletico Madrid. And we've got some good wins there. We've only got 2 losses in the Premier League so far. But it's 3 losses in the bounce, and something's got to change. And this, unfortunately, is on the shiny one. He's extra shiny, blinded his own players, blinded by his own vision for how the match should go. And I think, really, we need to focus on Ekitike and Wirtz, right, being the fulcrum of where we attack from. He won't drop Mo Salah, but I think he should drop Mo Salah. I think we should go with a more balanced lineup into interim until Mo Salah finds a tactical place where he can either offer defensively, contribute and carry us through wide playmaking, or be a goal scorer, getting into goal scoring positions. Because I don't feel it. When Sadio Mane got the ball on the left, right, I felt it every single time. When Salah got the ball in his prime on the right hand side in the half space, I felt it. When Bobby Firmino dropped between the two, got the ball and released one of the two in the channels, I felt it, right? When you have Semenyo, who, by the way, is not going to African Cup of Nations because they didn't qualify. His team didn't qualify for the African Cup of Nations. When he gets the ball, you feel it. Even Mbeumo, you feel something exciting is going to happen, right? When Pedro Neto gets the ball, you feel something's going to happen. When Mo Salah gets the ball, I'm shuddering to think that he's not going to get past the man, going to get tackled. He can't go on the right side because he's got no right foot. He's got no pace. He can't beat the man on the outside. He's got one move, cut inside at the moment. Cut inside or play a Trevella pass or try to shoot at the back post because he's got no power to shoot at the front post anymore. It's a sad state of affairs. I'm not going to criticize him. It's tactics that are making him look pants. But at the same time, him being pants, we can't afford to carry on. And the team is imbalanced as a result. Kirkes, Robertson, both tactically able, but they're just not finding prominent form. So that left back area is a concern. We haven't got dedicated destroyers in the absence of not playing Wataru Endo. So Gravenberg is doing the job of 2 men in the middle. McAllister's plucking away, but he's off form. Soboslai is absolutely monstrous at right back, but he doesn't have a good connection with Mo Salah because he doesn't overlap. He steps into the midfield as well. Wirtz is trying to get under the same wavelength everyone else, but he's a step too quick and he's trying to do too much and he's getting tackled and he's going into congested areas because at the moment I think he needs intelligent players and players with a lot of movement and penetration, and that's not it at the moment. Isak shows really high class talent and footwork and ability, but there's no one close enough to him to play with him. I want to see Isak in Ekitike. I'd love that 4-4-2 diamond with our wing backs bombing forward. I think it would really, really suit us. And in 4-4-2 diamond, Salah hasn't got a place. It's Isak, Ekitike out front, Wirtz behind him, McAllister or Soboslai or Curtis Jones behind him. A word for Curtis Jones. He holds the ball up well. He's press resistant and he's positive. But he still holds onto the ball and doesn't release the ball in timely affair, which means the opposition can get back into the space. But I like Curtis Jones, who always have a useful role for the team. 4-4-2 diamond has to be the way. Get Ekitike and Isak on the pitch in lieu of Salah or in lieu of Gakpo. Gakpo at least shoots, is a goal threat, is a penalty box poacher, tries to get in even if he only cuts inside in one-dimensional as well. At least he's got speed, can get in behind, and he can beat the man on the outside and dink a left ball in, which obviously Salah can't do on the right foot, or if he does, it's out of control. So yes, that's just my thoughts on it. Drop a like. Make sure to smash the subscribe as well. This is a channel of substance and abundance. I'll give you tactical trades without measures. No bias whatsoever. I'll say it like I see it. I'm tired, man. Drop a like. Really appreciate the views and the watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. We've got like 68% of you who watch week in, week out subscribing, but like 32% of you, what are you doing? Smash subscribe. Help me get to 15k subs. Until next time, Jana, Miyazaki Man Si means the best. Come on, Liverpool. Get back to the best. You're still within this second place. Get back onto that perch. Get through the international break, rev those engines up, and let's batter the opposition. Let's start with Man United. My goodness, if we lose to Man United, the intolerable lot on those sites like Reddit and Twitter will go absolutely insane. So let's not give them any fuel or food for thought. Let's get back to winning ways. Up the Reds. Red for life, yo. Peace.